Welcome to another round of Barrow's Nerdsville, and this is part 3 on how I would book the WCW Invasion of the World Wrestling Federation. On recap, WCW messes up a little bit of the Backlash pay-per-view, having the boss of WCW, Shane McMahon, defeating the giant killer, well, the giant who kills the Big Show, with a little help from Shane McMahon's newly acquired best friends. And as I said, with the Insurrection pay-per-view, that's not canon to the story. I'm just leaving it there. Now, and of course you have the different you got all these different all these different matches and that, so matches and Raw and SmackDown, which you've had WCW guys in the front row, all of it leading up to this one little ditty called Judgment Day. And this is how I would do it. Well, there's a little bit of pushing, shoving, yada yada yada. You know what's McCall and things of that nature, with WCW invading, going into backstage areas. Michael Cole has, on a number of occasions, had Tori and Stacy come around and go, "Hey, big stuff, come and be the WCW announcer. You're getting paid squat over here." And in the microphone in the back, that you get Paul going, "Oh, it's me. The hell is WWF? I'm WCW." And things like that. Now the Judgment Day 2001 pay-per-view isn't going to be that much influenced by WCW stars, and let me explain this. You already got in how I would book it. Mike Awesome, he lost the hardcore title to the Big Show after Mike Awesome going, all your so-called hardcore guys are nothing. I'll take on any one of you. Then the Big Show comes down. No matter how much WCW guys come down, but then you got a huge WWF, and there was a huge war. Lance Storm accidentally hits Mike Awesome in the head with a kendo stick. Mike Awesome goes, and you see Mike Awesome going, stammering. Big Show choke slams to both of them, pins both of them. Ref goes 1, 2, and 3, and that's it. That's on the last SmackDown before Judgment Day, which leads to Rhino versus Test and the Big Show. That's how Big Show as in champion. Big Show. I'll leave the two priors alone. The William Regal versus Rikishi won, I'd have them fighting and have some in the locker room. Just as Rikishi was going to be defeated by William Regal, you see on the Titantron WCW guys picking their noses with little Union Jack flags. William Regal jumps, lets Rikishi go, bolts up to the ring, and just a WCW guy knocks him out. Winner of the match via disqualification, William Regal. I'll still have the Kurt Angle versus Chris Benoit thing. Not only will it be the 3 stages of hell for Kurt Angle's Olympic gold medal, I'll leave that in there, but also 2 out of 3 stages of hell. Loser leaves the WWE. Kurt Angle wins, Chris Benoit leaves, and for the Rhino versus Test versus Big Show for the hardcore title, I would have them go at it. Mike Awesome tries to storm the ring. Rhino gores, Test big boots. Mike Awesome at the same time. Big Show lifts up Mike Awesome again. Chokeslams him through a table. While the Big Show's doing that, Rhino spears Test off a huge platform. Rock goes down. 1, 2, 3. Winner of the match, Rhino, new hardcore champion. In the China versus Lita for the women's title match, I'd have to interfere the same 2 ladies who place flag. That's Stacy and Tori. Going, look, if we were champions, we'd be the sexier champions. You got one who looks like a punk rocker tattooed freak, and look at the other one. She's nothing more than a big, and both of them together we go, man. But then you got Trish Stratus and Jacqueline behind them. They take care of the first fired shots back onto WCW guys. Happen to be Trish and Jacqueline knocking out Tori and Stacy, which China will go through to still defeat Lita and still be the champion. The Intercontinental Champion in this case, I would have, instead of Chris Benoit, I'd have, instead of Triple H, I would have Chris Jericho as, yes, Intercontinental Champion. Versus Chris Benoit. For me, that's a better match than Kane versus Triple H in a chain match for the title. And for the tag team title match, I would have that for the World Tag Team Championship belt, the WWF Tag Team title belts. I'll keep them as it is, but in this case, APA wins that match. only to have Stasiak and Palumbo standing at the top of the ramp going, "We've been champions since February. Us, the real world champions." APA chases them out of the building, and I'll still do that. Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Undertaker, and have it as a double pin since Stone Cold Steve Austin is champion. Undertaker doesn't become the new champion. You know the drill with those sort of title defenses. Which everything's getting a bit too confused, get too hostile, too angry with the WWF guys. The following Monday on Raw, Vince calls a State of the Union address. Vince stands there and goes, "You know what? I'm sick of these WCW guys interfering in our matches. You know what, leader? You may be tattooed, but you're a hell of a lot more attractive than those WCW skanks." And also address China with the same thing. They say, "You don't look like a man. You just look like a very powerful Amazonian woman." That sort of thing. Blah 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 blah. Then on the Titantron, we'll be at the World. Which would lead into the with this whole with Train of the World going, "You know what? King of the Ring is just around the corner." And I just got a contract for one of your guys to come and join with me. I'm not going to say who is going to be with me, but I can tell you this: it's going to be a big investment. Then on that Monday Night Raw, I would still have Kurt Angle versus Michael Holly, Matt versus Jeff Hardy, Christian versus Kane, with Big Show versus Raven. And a lot of suspicion gets put onto the Big Show. You just see guys going, crossing their arms. And one of them actually getting an old WCW poster and going and having a huge U spray painted on it going, "Big Show in, you sold out." In other words, making reference to a WCW pay-per-view. "Big Show, you sold out, you sold out." And the fans cheering to the Big Show. He goes, "Well." And then the fans going, "You sold out, you sold out, you sold out, you sold out." Doing that sort of thing to get the ire of the Big Show, get him really angry. And Big Show, please, I didn't sign with WCW. Then Vince comes down and goes, well, if you weren't the one to sign up with the WCW, well, who did? And which and things will happen, yada yada yada. Big Show versus Raven. But because of certain guys in the back not feeling the same way, more or less APA comes storming down to the ring with The Undertaker. Firstly, it's an almighty clothesline from hell from Bradshaw to the Big Show. Then you got them picking up the Big Show. Then you got Undertaker and Bradshaw helping Farouk lift the Big Show up for the Dominator. Then you got, in this case, will be the first ever triple power bomb in WWE history. Almost a triple last ride. Raven loses via disqualification, making Big Show winner. Then it'll be, on SmackDown, on the following Raw, Edge versus Test. I'll leave that. Leave the bracket the way it is. Then 2 weeks before King of the Ring, I still have Kurt Angle versus Jeff Hardy. Kurt Angle winning via submission. Ryan is still goring Tajiri to hell in the back. Edge to beat Perry Saturn. But when it comes to the Christian versus Big Show match, people thinking, hang on, is it Christian? Then the Hardy Boys together jumps into the ring, beats up. Before the Big Show finishes off Christian, the Hardy Boys with Lita storms the ring and beats up Christian. For the simple reason is they think that he was the one. Since he was a tag team champion, he was hardcore champion, he was light heavyweight champion. To have a person with that many credentials is a big investment. It may not be huge in size, but huge in dollar value. They beat Christian. Big Show loses via disqualification. Big Show knocks out the Hardy Boys. Christian is declared winner. Rest of the pay-per-view goes off swimmingly. Like week before Raw, the Raw beforehand. I'll leave the semi-finals as is. With WWF going, what is going on? Who is the big sellout? Who is the one whose name is on that contract? Then you got in the grand final, in the finals of the King of the Ring, Kurt Angle versus Edge. And in prior to that, you got Matt Hardy versus Just the Incredibles. I'll still have it for the European title. I'll do the Christian versus Ed, Kurt Angle versus Christian, Edge versus Rhino, with Kurt Angle and Edge being the winners in that one. APA being the tag team champions, defeating the Dudley Boys in that one. Then, and of course, Edge wins that year's King of the Ring. But then, to add insult to injury, I would have Shane McMahon step out and clap Edge's victory, and have WCW on the Titantron going, "Welcome to WCW, Edge," and the fans boo Edge. But then Edge going, "No, it's not me. I'm not it. I never sold out. I am WWF to the point to his teeth, closest thing to bone you can actually point to." Then you just see Christian lift up that trophy and smacks Edge in the back of the head, and him grabbing the microphone going, "Yeah." Let me see. Light heavyweight, tag team, and hardcore champion. I am the big sellout. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Jeff, for getting me to the semi-finals. I played you like suckers. Drop the mic. Christian walks up to the end of the ramp, up to the top there, shakes Shane's hand, having the first defector in the WWF. Oh, sorry, I forgot to say, with the hardcore title, Mike Awesome does lose it to Rhino after Rhino loses to Edge. Rhino spear tackles Mike Awesome, grabs the referee, 1, 2, and 3. That was it. And well, I was able to cover 2 pay-per-views in this particular video. Now, off to part 4 of the same thing. See you then.